Time for another courageous conversation here on Color 10 News. You know, throughout the month of July, Color 10 Sports will take a harder look at sports-related injuries. Last night, our Daniel Shedd started our Sidelined series.
Tonight, we continue our look at baseball and the growing trend of young pitchers undergoing Tommy John surgery.
And Nick Petree attended Missouri State, where he was named the National Player of the Year in 2012. He was then drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, but was forced to retire at the age of 25 after suffering his second UCL tear.
My parents told me I picked up a base when I was 2 years old and started chucking it. My dad always joked with me. He was always just telling me, hey, I just want to get you to college so you get a scholarship to pay your college. I always joked back, I didn't want to just finish there. I wanted to keep going.
After being named Collegiate Baseball's 2012 National Player of the Year from Missouri State, Nick Petree accomplished his dream, being drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals.
I was very excited. I got an opportunity to continue to play baseball, and I'm very thankful.
At 25, he had his whole career ahead of him. That career ended after the 2015 season when doctors told him the news.
It wasn't a one pitch. It was kind of throughout the year, I'm guessing. I got an MRI. It's kind of heartbreaking to hear that information, but once again, injuries happen.
Petree had torn his UCL, the ulnar collateral ligament, in his right arm. Again, his Major League Baseball playing days were over.
Play every day like, it's going to be your last, because you don't know when your last one is going to be.
Petree's diagnosis is becoming more and more of a reality for baseball players of all ages across the nation. Dr. Chris Miller is an orthopedic surgeon at Cox Health and studied under Dr. Frank Jobe, who pioneered the surgery back in 1974.
Dr. Jobe told me that every pitcher's arm has a limited number or a finite number of pitches that they're going to have before the ligament tears.
In the last 20 years, Tommy John surgery has increased in high school athletes over 30%, according to the American Sports Medicine Institute. A study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine took it a step further and noticed that children as young as 13 years old are now undergoing the surgery. Dr. Niro Jayanthi leads a tennis medicine program at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, and is regarded as one of the leading experts in youth sports injuries.
In my mind, training-related injuries they're almost all preventable, right? Like if you're doing a specific excess volume and your training load is more than you need to be successful, and you get hurt.
In 2015, Jayanthi released findings regarding overuse injuries, such as elbow and shoulder injuries in baseball players. Over 1,200 athletes were recruited, and a study found a direct link between the age of the athlete and the number of hours spent in organized sports. Athletes that play more hours per week than their age in years were at an increased risk for a serious overuse injury. These findings corresponded with a previous 10-year study done by Jayanthi, finding that baseball pitchers that threw more than 100 innings per year were 3.5 times more likely to be injured. In another study published by the American Sports Medicine Institute, players that pitched more than 8 months of the year were 5 times more at risk. The study also found that pitching despite arm fatigue increased their injury chances by 36 times.
No one stops smoking unless your doctor asks you every single time you come visit.
In 2014, 31 Major League pitchers underwent Tommy John surgery, and Major League Baseball has taken steps to protect America's pastime. The MLB, alongside USA Baseball, provide free resources for youth athletes outlined in their Pitch Smart program. They provide detailed throwing programs and essentials for post-pitching recovery.
If you're in the off-season, just take some time playing catch with your dad.
Dr. Jason Martinez is a sports chiropractor and owner of Next Level Chiropractic in Springfield.
If you want to get stronger, just lift more often. If you want to get better at throwing, throw more often, which is true in a way, but recovery is more important. If you don't recover from it, you're not going to perform well. So the rehabilitation and recovery from what you're doing is just as important, if not more important, than the actual sport itself.
This year, Nick Petree has found his way from the pitching mound to the dugout as an assistant coach for the Missouri State Bears. With his new position, he hopes to instill these values for the next generation of Major League players.
Try and pass on everything I've learned that I didn't realize at the time.
And next week in Sidelined, we'll take a look at the sport of basketball and the rate of knee injuries among females. If you're interested in more information about injury prevention, all these stories are posted under the Sports Injury tab at ozarksfirst.com.
All right, Daniel.